Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everyone. It's been a while for me. I'm going to do this update for a couple reasons. One is to drink this beer that I got when Dan Pixley came to San Diego earlier in the year. I forget what Dan's YouTube channel is. I'll put a link somewhere, but he gave me a bottle of his plum sour. It says Plums B. It was bottled, I assume the date's when it was bottled, which was November 14th of last year. So this is almost a year old in the bottle, or a year old from the date on the cap. Except I'm 10 days short of that, but 10 days isn't going to matter. So finally getting around to this beer. Dan said I could sit on it for a while. It looks like, I don't know, if I had to guess, this is maybe like a darker sour, unless he's getting that much color from the plums, which could be the case, but it's a nice red color to that, really. Yeah, they got a lot going on in the nose. There's some funkiness, there's some sweet plum notes, cherry, figs, slight bit of almost balsamic vinegar, like you get on a Flanders Red. A little bit of sweetness in there, kind of malt with a little bit of like a plum sweetness. Yeah, it has some nice complexity. You can tell though it's different than if you were to say take a Flanders Red or that type of style of beer and add like a cherry element. You can tell it's a little different sweetness, a little different fruit character from that plum. Like some tannin notes, but then some sweeter character from it. So it smells great. Let's dig in. Cheers. I thought there might be a little bit more. It's weird on the nose. I thought it was kind of like an acetic acid character, but flavor-wise, more of like just a really nice, intense lactic character. So you got a lot of that lemony lactic character. Fairly sour. The fruit's there. There's a funkiness in there. I probably should have let it sit out a little bit and warm up, but let's come back to this, do some other Homebrew Wednesday related things. I'm finally eligible for the Stone AHA competition again this year. They moved the competition from March now to November, which is Beer Week in San Diego. So my 3-year ban is up, so I entered in a Imperial Red Ale with cacao and salt. So I'm trying to mimic, we got the dog barking in the background, a bunch of crows flying around that she's trying to chase off. So, but it was trying to simulate like a caramel chocolate salt bar. And so that's kind of where I'm going with that beer. So the competition's on November 11th. I don't know when I'll get this posted, probably just a few days before the actual competition. So I'll have a follow-up videos for how that goes. But yeah, I'm finally eligible. Came up with that beer. My original plan after I won it was to maybe come back and do a chocolate IPA, because I brewed one up probably back in 2014, because there's that experimental hop that had like, some people say it had a coconut character, some people said it had a chocolate character. I tried it out. I thought it was getting more of a chocolate character. I paired that with Amarillo, which I thought would work with an orange aspect to kind of get this chocolate orange IPA thing, and then add a little bit of cacao to kind of reinforce the chocolate character. I can't remember if I did lactose in that or not. I think I did. Anyway, people have kind of done chocolatey mocha. Well, Stone did a mocha IPA, which is kind of what, so I figured they've kind of already done something like that, so I'll just forget about that beer and come up with something different. So I was inspired by a beer from Big Island Brew House called Red Sea Cacao, and so that's kind of where I came up with that beer. And so the dog's just going nuts with these birds flying around right now. So he's running around barking like crazy while I do this review, which is funny. She's a 10.5-month-old puppy, so she's pretty excited. Little extra element to doing reviews here at the new house. But I'm still brewing a lot, but, well, I shouldn't say I took a long break with the move, but I did the Stone Competition beer, and then the following weekend I did a milk stout. I'm going to split that 2 ways. I got a keg got macadamia nuts and coconut, and then the other keg is getting cacao, nibs, and coffee. So a little pastry stout action for that. After that, I got to do something hoppy. It's been a while since I've had hoppy beer on draft. Finally bought a new keg, so because I needed a free keg. I didn't feel like bottling up or growlering up my barrel-aged barley wine or my Doppelbock. I just want to keep those in the keg, so I just left them there, bought a new keg so I can get some more beer going. And then I finally bought some new hardware to add to my keezer, so it's going from 4 taps to 5 taps. Eventually it will be 8 taps. But yeah, we just kegged out our club sour beer, Society of Barley Engineers. We used to do a single 55-gallon barrel back in the day that we'd fill up. Then it went to 2 55-gallon plastic barrels. Then it went to 3 55-gallon plastic barrels. Then we got a couple wine barrels. Now I think we're at 5 55-gallon plastic containers, 2 70-gallon wine barrels, and 1 55-gallon bourbon barrel that we got that used to have Victory at Sea in it. So we actually put our club sour in there, and that turned out very interesting. It's definitely get some vanilla notes, a little bit of a coffee character, but the coffee character had that kind of aged green pepper sort of jalapeno character. If you ever got that in some coffee beers, I was getting that in our sour beer, and you thought, oh, that's kind of weird. It worked in a really weird way, in a good way. And so I actually blended that in. I did one of my kegs, or carboys I filled up, had a blend of some of that beer in there. It's probably about 20% of it, blended with the other stuff. And then one of the wine barrels was really good and had a really nice funk character, so I filled up 1 carboy of just that. So always fun doing it. It used to be we'd sample 3 different barrels and be done real quick. Now it takes like an hour just to sample everything so everyone can figure out their blends, and then there's more people that are involved. So that's part of the Society du Lambic that we kind of created. And we'll have a lot of those beers we get fruited and will be on draft at SoCal Homebrew Festival next year. So if you're in the area, or it'd be a good reason to come to that festival. It's a fun camp out and festival. It's a great time, and we'll have our 2 booths there, clean beers on one, sour beers on the other, like we did at the National Homebrewers Conference when it was here in San Diego. So looking forward to next year's conference. I just saw an email go out for people to proposals for talks. I wish I had a proposal for a talk. That'd be fun to do one, but I don't really have anything. But the goal is definitely to make it up to Portland for it. Love Portland, was there last December and had a good time. So this might be my next opportunity to get up there. So let's get back to Dan's beer here. Yeah, just a really nice, I mean, it's a sour beer, but it's that super clean lactic sour. It's not getting you in the cheeks like if it was like really acidic. So super clean on the acidity levels, that lemony tartness. The plums add in that tannin and sweeter notes that kind of get in the dark fruit. And then a little bit of funk coming through. Yeah, good stuff, Dan. Dan's heavily involved with Milk the Funk. If you're not familiar with that group, they have a great wiki on brewing funky sour beers, American Wild Ales, whatever you want to call it. He's heavily involved on the Facebook page and then helping out with the wiki. So yeah, glad to meet up with Dan when he came into town for Festival of Funk. Maybe we'll come back out next year. It's put on by Modern Times in San Diego, so it's a good festival to come out for. It's in the middle of beer week today. I was gonna maybe go do an event today, but I was like, we had a big ball share last night, so think of us hanging out at home. So thanks for watching this long video. Until next time, cheers.